Prismatic brought some insane new abilities and combinations for Warlocks to use. The build we're looking at today allows you to fully take advantage of Prismatic by giving you multiple ways to create turrets that deal damage for you, a massive amount of damage resistance, ways to generate a ton of grenade energy, competitive DPS, and even numerous ways to gain back health. Remember to leave a like if you find this video helpful, and if you like seeing build videos and other Destiny 2 helpful content, consider hitting that subscribe button. With that being said, let's jump right on into it. And for the build we're looking at today, we're bringing the exotic Getaway artist, so that we can consume our arc grenade to create an arc buddy and become amplified, which this season means a constant way to gain an extra 30% damage resistance. The really cool thing is you can pair this with the aspect Bleak Watcher, so that you can now also create a stasis turret whenever you consume that grenade. These stasis turrets are honestly really helpful in a ton of scenarios. Now you have a way to stun both Overload and Unstoppable champions. You have a way to freeze enemies, giving you good crowd control, and even allows you to deal more damage with light-based abilities like your arc buddy. And now, since you're dealing both light and dark-based damage, you'll also be filling up that prismatic meter even quicker. So let's dive into the build and break down how it works. For the super, I'm going for Song of Flame. We get an immensely powerful ad clearing and damage super, giving you and your fire team damage resistance and radiance. And for the class ability, I'm taking Phoenix Dive, because it has the shortest cooldown and provides the most immediate healing. For the melee, I'm taking Arcane Needle, because it has 3 charges allowing us to proc our mods more often, and it intrinsically unravels enemies, which does give you more damage, but that will also come into play later. For the grenade, we're taking the Storm Grenade. This is the only option since Getaway Artist requires you to consume an arc grenade. When it comes to the aspects, the first one I'm taking is Feed the Void. This gives you an enhanced version of Devour whenever you get an ability kill. This could be from your melee, your arc buddy, or even your stasis turret. This enhanced version of Devour will not only fully heal you, but also give you back up to 40% of your grenade with every kill. Remember, our grenade is our way to spawn an arc buddy, a stasis buddy, as well as gain 30% damage resistance, so we want to consume them as much as possible. So we pair that with the aspect Bleak Watcher, which, as we mentioned before, now allows you to turn your grenade into a stasis turret. Normally this is just okay, but with the added benefit of the arc buddy and damage resistance, it's a no-brainer for a build like this. When it comes to the fragments, the first one I'm taking is Facet of Awakening, so that now rapidly defeating targets will create an elemental pickup based on the damage source. Since we have an arc buddy at our side, this will create incredibly strong ionic traces to give us back a ton of ability energy for all of our abilities. And we pair that with Facet of Courage, which gives us 10% increased damage with our light-based abilities to an enemy that has a darkness debuff. The stasis turrets will be consistently freezing and slowing everything. And like I said, with our melee, we can instantly unravel a target. So now your arc buddy and your abilities from your super will deal more damage. After that, we take Facet of Purpose, so that based on your super, when you pick up an orb of power, you'll get an elemental buff. Since we're on solar, we get restoration for 5 seconds. And next on the list, we're taking Facet of Protection, so that when you're surrounded, you're taking 15% less damage, which stacks with all of our other damage resistance and allows you to play a bit closer to enemies. And finally, we take Facet of Ruin. The shatter from freezing targets will now deal more damage over a larger area to give your stasis turrets even more stopping power. So the gameplay loop goes like this. Consume your grenade to create both an arc and stasis turret. Let your turrets get a kill or use your powered melee to proc Devour. Then continuously kill with anything and everything to gain back a ton of grenade energy. Every time you get back your grenade, consume it again to create another stasis turret and extend the timer on your arc buddy. And I do have 2 helpful tips for you. If you get caught off guard and run out of Devour and grenade energy, you can pop your Transcendence to get back your ability energy. Plus, if you need to stun either Unstoppable or Overload champ, your grenade while you're Transcendent will both slow and freeze, giving you that stunning power. And number 2, you can control where that stasis turret goes. It seems to lob out straight in front of you like a bowling ball. So if you want to place it in a certain area or further away, try to aim up or jump while you're consuming your grenade to throw it a little bit further. And when it comes to improving the build, for stats, I'm aiming for 100 resilience and discipline. The extra damage protection and turrets is a must for endgame activities. After that, I aim for a mix of intellect and strength. The Unravel from our melee helps with damage and proccing Devour, but your Song of Flame is incredibly strong. so both are important. When it comes to the armor mods, for our helmet, I'm taking Harmonic Siphon. I like to bring solar weapons with this build, so now rapid kills with those solar weapons will generate orbs. And then I also like to take Heavy Ammo Finder and Heavy Ammo Scout. Since I like this build for Grandmasters, dungeons, or raids, heavy ammo always seems to be necessary, which is why I like to take Finder and Scout mods to create more for me and my team. When it comes to the Gauntlet mods, since we get 3 charges for our melee, I like to take both Focusing Strike and Momentum Transfer to use my melee to gain back energy for both my class ability and my grenade. Then I like to take Impact Induction, so that grenade damage now gives back melee energy. I tend to throw grenades every so often in between consuming them, but this could be swapped out for Harmonic Loader mod instead if you don't find yourself throwing grenades that often. And when it comes to the chest, I'm taking 3 resistance mods. This will mainly depend on the activity that you're doing. I tend to like to bring a melee resistance as a base and then 2 elements that match the activity that I'm in, but you can simply swap these out for whatever resistance mods fit your activity best. When it comes to the legs, I really like to run both strand and solar weapons, so I tend to bring both solar and strand weapon surges to get that extra 10% weapon damage for all of my weapons. Then I bring Innervation, which gives us 10% to our grenade every time we pick up an orb. Now this might sound redundant with Devour, but the main benefit of the build is your grenade. It creates turrets, it gives you damage resistance, and it procs Devour, so I want as much uptime on my grenade as possible. As for our class mods, I'm taking Outreach, so that we get 12% of our melee energy whenever we use our class ability. That way we can help proc Devour in case we don't have our grenade available. And I pair that with Reaper to create an orb on a weapon kill after using our class ability, which is also why I like to take Powerful Attraction, so that you can collect any nearby orbs by using your class ability. And when it comes to the artifact mods, there are 4 that I like with this build. First, I like Radiant Orbs, so that picking up orbs will now make you Radiant, giving you an extra 25% weapon damage. Second, I like Galvanic Armor, which gives you 30% damage resistance when you're amplified, and you go amplified by consuming your grenade, so this is a 30% damage resistance that you'll constantly have. And third, I take Shield Crush. You only really proc half of this, which is 25% grenade recharge rate and 20% grenade damage whenever you're amplified or radiant, which is basically all the time. And fourth, I'm taking Transference. While Transcendent, you gain more melee and grenade damage. Plus, you gain Transcendent energy back based on how many weapon kills you get. As for the weapons, this build can be run with any weapons. You could take a stasis weapon and bring the artifact mod Creeping Chill to create more slowing bursts, or you could take a strand weapon and bring the artifact mod Threaded Blast, so you can shoot tangles with strand weapons to create massive explosions. Or you can just bring the best weapon for a specific activity like Outbreak and the Glassway Grandmaster. It's purely up to user's choice. Just make sure to match those weapon surge mods to whatever weapons you bring. We get consistent damage from 2 different turrets, massive amounts of grenade energy and healing from Devour, and to top it all off, we get incredible damage resistance from always being amplified and your super. This build really has it all. Remember, mastering these builds is only the beginning. Experiment with different combinations and tweak your loadouts to suit your playstyle, and never stop honing your skills. If you found this video helpful or just enjoyed seeing a new perspective, feel free to like the video and comment down below what you might change or how you'd improve the Getaway artist build. Keep an eye out for future videos as we continue to explore the ever-evolving world of Destiny 2. Until then, may the threads of fate be ever in your favor. This is Lucky Mech signing off. See you on the next adventure, Guardians.